We'll start nice and easy today. Take a comfortable seat, whether that's sitting cross-legged or back on the heels. Let your hands fall down along your legs. Sit nice and tall through the spine. Close your eyes. Tap into your breath. Allow the rise and fall of your breath to lead you through this practice. But before we start moving, do a quick body scan. Notice any pieces that need a little bit more attention today. Give them a little extra light and breath. And then from that body scan, notice overall how you're landing here for the practice. Give it a word, a phrase that might lead you to an intention. Little things, little ways that I always like to come to before I start moving my body so that I know I'm in a general, good, safe space. And then just tap your chin down to the chest and rock the head from side to side. Awakening head, neck, shoulders. Noticing the little kinks. Perhaps staying in one place longer than the other to allow the kinks to stretch out. And then if you're okay with it, go for full head rolls. Do 2 full circles in one direction. And then switch and go the opposite direction. Keep the chin down to the chest as you still stay tall through the spine. Take both hands behind your head. Give a little push of the head into the hands. Enjoy the lengthening stretch from the top of the spine down to the tailbone. And draw the navel in towards the spine for the strengthening engagement along the front side of the body. And then we release the hands back down, lift the head. Let your eye gaze come open and twist to one side. Stay there a little too long, a little extra breath or two. And then switch to the second side. Take the twist here. Good. And back to the center. Today we're going to stay seated a little extra time. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Give it a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a pat. And really strongly flex the feet, toes straight up into the air. Take the right hand high and reach towards your left foot. So a little bit of a crossbody stretch. If that hand can grab the outside of the foot or leg, do that. Look back over your left shoulder. Extend the left hand behind you. You'll release, come all the way back up to the center. And then take the left hand high. Reach towards the right leg, all the way to the outside of it. Look over your right shoulder and extend the right hand behind you. Let it release back to the center and just fold over your legs. Seated forward fold or Paschimottanasana. Be gentle with yourself. It's just the opening of our practice and time. You can let the back round. Not so much over striving, just kind of what comes in right now. A couple of breaths out through the mouth. And then come all the way back upright and take the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, hold on to your ankles or your toes and flap the knees a little bit. And then let the upper body kind of circle around best we can. Circle on the bowl of the pelvis. Create as much movement here as possible. And we're going to go the opposite circle as well. Just really lean into the stretch for our practice today. What feels nice? As you come back upright, hug the knees in. Hug the front of your shins. Pull the heels as tight as you can towards your center. Nice and tall through the spine. So the legs are really pressing into belly here, belly into the thighs. All right, and then we can release and come on over to all fours. Continue with the easy opening movements in all fours. It's just cat and cow. Start with your super typical cat and cow with hands flat, top of the feet down. And then a little bit different cat and cow. Try to come up to the finger pads and tuck the toes. This keeps us just a little bit more lifted, can be easier on the shoulders and hips, and give a bit more access into the movement of the spine. Maybe you notice it, maybe you don't. Just to try something different. All right, time to stretch into downward facing dog. Lay the hands flat down. Stretch through. Pedal out the feet. Let your down dog have some movement. And then land with your feet as wide as the sticky mat. So outer hip distance or a little bit wider apart there. Really stretch the hips high and the heels low. Press the hands down and forward at the same time to give that full length through the body. Keep the legs as straight as they can and walk the hands backwards to the feet, which might be bending the knees. Walk the hands all the way back. Keep those feet still as wide as the mat as you do a forward fold and a hang. And then do bend your knees. Look about 2 feet in front of your feet. Place the hands there. And then the right hand up to the sky in a twist. Keep the left hand down. Try to keep the hips relatively square. Right hand up. Lower the right hand down. Give it a go on the second side. Left hand goes high. And lower it down. Walk the hands all the way back to downward facing dog, trying to keep the heels on the mat. Big full stretch. Then this time look forward to the hands and slowly walk your feet up to the hands. As they get to the front of the mat, take your squat. So feet still as wide as the mat, bend the knees a lot, sit your butt down low, low, low. Try to pull your torso straight up and down, palms together, center of the chest. Catch your hands behind you. We're coming back to a seated position. Stretch the legs again straight out in front. Pull the right foot in like it's in tree pose against your upper inner thigh. Point the right knee out to the side and fold over your left leg. Let the breath calm down. Try to lengthen out every exhalation. Making sure we do some good stretches to keep the hips open for sitting on that airplane all day. And then just a little bit different here, if you come up and set the ankle on top of the thigh, so you're more in that figure 4 position. Lean back onto the hands and set the sole of the left foot on the ground. And I usually rock a little bit side to side here to get into all the nooks and crannies. And then rock all the way over so that the sole of the right foot can come flat down. And you could keep the left heel tucked in, or I usually like to extend it straight out. Just makes things a little bit more comfortable, and come into the twist here. Come out of the twist, extend the right leg out, give it a little pat and a shake. Same series on the second side, so you take the left foot to the upper inner thigh, point the knee out to the side, and fold over the extended leg. Enough time to get the mind back to the concentration on the breath. Longer exhalation each and every time. And then as you come up, cross the left ankle on top of or right over the right thigh. Lean back onto the hands so that you can place the right foot flat on the ground and rock. Rock all the way over until the left foot is flat on the ground. Keep the right heel tucked under or extend the leg out to make it a little more doable, and take the twist. Twist towards the lifted thigh. Look over that left shoulder. And unwrap, extend both legs out, give it a little shake. Let's get back to downward facing dog. Roll over to all fours, place the hands well, and then stretch into dog pose. From here, lift the right leg high, three-legged dog. Let the hips open to the side. Let the leg lift tall, tall, tall towards the sky. Even point your toes. Change, pull the knee into the chest, hover forward. Plank pose with the knee lifted, stay there. Look a little forward past the hands, stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then step the right foot all the way into your lunge. Rock a little forward and back here. Bend and straighten in the legs. No wrong way to go, just rock. Stay with the lunge, add the twist, right hand high. My favorite, down dog lunge. Both hands come to the inside, spin the back heel down, walk the hands out. The hands can go more towards the top corner or more just straight out to the long side of the mat, whatever offers a little bit more space and ease in the legs today. And then walk the hands back around, lift the back heel, and set the left knee down, the back knee down to the ground. Twisted monkey. It's a quad stretch and a twist. Pull the left heel in towards the bum. Lift the right hand up, trace like a rainbow across the sky to look back. Try to catch hold of your foot. You can hold with air and space in between, or if you get hold of the foot, try to pull the heel closer into the butt. As long as we've got some rotation going in the torso, nice quad stretch, we're getting in the pose. Okay. We release. Going back to the figure 4 shape that we did a little earlier while seated, it's right ankle over the left thigh. Point the right knee out to the side as you bend the left knee a lot and sit low into the legs. And then watch this one here. It might be a little bit tricky to think about. It's side plank with the kickstand. I'm just setting my right foot down and going into the outside edge of the left hand, left foot, right hand up to the sky. Side plank with the right foot forward. Slide into plank pose. Down to the mat and lift for cobra. Child's pose. Press back. This is actually the first child's pose that we've done today. Be on the fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, upper arm bones. Good long stretch, but stay here a moment. And change to downward facing dog. We take this whole series on the second side, so we start left leg high, three-legged dog. Reach, 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 lift, lift, lift. And then pull the knee into the chest, hover forward, stay there. Straight arms, look a little ahead of the hands. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and step it through into the lunge. And then just rock the legs back and forth. As fast or as slow as feels right here. And stay with the front knee bent, back leg straight. Add left hand high, twist. Okay, down dog lunge, so both hands to the inside, back heel down, walk the hands out. Again, towards the corner or more towards the long edge of the mat. Second side doesn't need to look like the first side. If the hands want to be a little different, that's cool. Try to broaden out that front knee so it moves away from the front shoulder. Walk the hands back in, pick up the back heel, set down the back knee. Pull the right heel in towards the butt, quad stretch. Left hand straight out in front of you and then look up, trace the rainbow. Look at the back foot, whether you're holding on or not, that broad opening across the chest. If you are catching hold of the back foot, try to pull the heel into the body. And we'll release the whole thing. Figure 4 shape here, left ankle across the right thigh. To get into the pose, bend the right knee a lot. Try to point the left knee out to the side. Nice press of the hands down and forward, so you're getting the stretch and the strength in the upper body. And then to get into that side plank with the kickstand, again, the left foot's kind of where it needs to be in the center of the mat. You just set it down. Turn to the outer edge of the right foot. Stay on the right hand. Lift the left arm up. The point of this is to get the hips high enough that you're finding a stretch, engagement, in the IT band of that left leg. And then we go to full plank, both hands, both feet. Plank pose. Good, lower flat down. Cobra. Pick up the chest, press down through the hands and feet. Child's pose, press back. Walk the hands over towards the right side. Walk the hands across the center and over to the second side. And then again, we come back to the middle. One more round of lunges. Come back to downward facing dog. Start on the left side this time, so left leg high, three-legged dog. Knee to chest, hover forward, and step the foot all the way through. Warrior 2, spin the back heel down, cartwheel yourself upright, extend the arms, gaze out over the front fingertips. Straighten the front leg, take the right hand down your back thigh. Look down as you lift the left hand high. And then go back to Warrior 2, rebend the left knee, gaze out forward. We're going to do that 2 more times. So we straighten the left leg, lift the left arm, look down, and bend the left knee, warrior 2. Straighten and bend. Change the flow to side angle in warrior 2. So elbow to knee, top arm, palm down, overhead stretch. And then come back upright in the torso to warrior 2. Float between those 2 poses, elbow to knee, top arm, palm down, reach. Try to keep the legs exactly as is and just move the torso up and down. Then you do it 1 more time, elbow to knee, palm down. And come back upright, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, turn the toes this time parallel to the outside edges of your yoga mat. Wide-legged forward fold, reach the hands down, head down. Lean your weight forward into the toes so that you get a strong lift on the kneecap, tone in the quad, and a stretch through the back of the leg. So we want the front of the legs to be strong so that the back of the legs can safely stretch. Look towards the front of your mat. Go back to downward facing dog. And then second side, lift your right leg up into the air, 3-legged dog. Pull the knee to the chest, hover forward for a moment. And step it all the way through. Warrior 2, back heel down, come upright. Second side, it's the right side for most of us, I assume. And then the flow between the exalted warriors, straighten the right leg, lift the right hand. Now you could definitely look up here. I actually find the balance a little easier to sustain if I look down over the back shoulder. And that is a switching of the gaze though, so staying balanced as you do that. Go back to warrior 2. And then that flow 2 more times. Straighten the front side, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, bend, go back to warrior 2. Inhale, straighten, look down and back. And exhale, warrior 2. The movement comes forward now into side angle, right elbow to the knee, top arm, palm down overhead, reach. Come up to warrior 2. And flow between those 2 points 2 more times. Side angle. And warrior 2. Side angle. And warrior 2. Straighten the right leg, turn the toes again, parallel to one another to the outsides of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Reach down, hands down, head towards the mat. Feel free to have bend in the knees to open up a little bit more space in the low back to make it a little more easeful on the stretch of the hamstrings. And then again, look back towards the front end of the mat. Circle your way around to downward facing dog. Plank pose. Lie down onto the belly and then flip over, get comfortable, lie onto your back. So you can face either way that works. As you lie down, hug the knees into the chest. We started with a little extra time in seated stretches, slowly warming into our lunges and standing poses. Give a little more time here, supine today as well. So hug just the right knee into the chest to let the left leg go long. Start with a twist, take the right leg over to the left side. Extend the right arm out. I like to look just straight up. You could also look out over your right shoulder for a little bit more rotation and head, neck, and shoulders. And then from here, firm in the legs enough that I kind of imagine myself doing a standing balance, trying to stand on just that extended left leg. Can you reach and hold on to your outer right thigh or the outside of the foot and stretch the right leg as straight as it'll go? Again, you can hold on to the outer thigh, the outer calf, or to the foot. And then pull it all back into the center. Hug just the right knee again into the chest. Like you're doing a lunge while lying down here, then the elbow comes to the inside of the leg. Hold on again to the outside of the right foot. Try to stand on the ceiling with the right foot. But the hands should be pulling down, thigh closer to the ground. So this reclining or half happy baby pose. Reclining lunge, half happy baby. Okay. We've done the figure 4 shape in a few different stances today. Here's a third one. Take the sole of the left foot to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, point the right knee out. Let the legs rock a little bit side to side like we did from the seated position. And then pull the left knee in towards the chest. Thread your arms through your legs. Hold behind your thigh. Pull in. And finally here, set the left foot flat on the ground. Stretch the right leg straight up to the sky. Hold behind thigh, calf, or to the foot. Find your stretch. I like the stretch here to lie on about the 6 or a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the tip top of your edge. So it's intense, but certainly not overwhelming here. And then just release the right leg down, release the left leg down. Like 10 seconds of Shavasana, take a couple of breaths. And then we'll repeat that on the second side. So both knees come into the chest to start. Nice strong squeeze. Keep holding on to just the left leg. Right leg goes back down to the mat. Take it into the twist. The left knee goes across the body towards the right side. Extend the left arm out. Again, feel free to let your gaze follow the left hand or just look straight up. And then putting a little bit more presence and attention to this, like you're trying to stand on the right leg. Imagine if you were standing up, trying to do this as a balance pose. Hold the right hand somewhere along that left leg and stretch it out a little bit straighter. Huge outer hip stretch there. As we release and fold it back into the center. Reclining lunge, left elbow goes to the inside. Hold on to the outside of the foot. Shoulders, head can certainly come off of the mat to make that grasp. And then try to set the shoulders and head back as you come into that half happy baby expression. Change to thread the needle, set the right foot flat on the mat. Swing the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Try to point the knee more out to the side. For a moment, rock the legs a little bit back and forth like we did seated. And then pull the right knee more into the chest, keeping the left knee out to the side. Thread the arms through, hold on behind the right thigh. I usually get my left elbow involved here, try to push the left thigh still out of the way. Okay, finally here for this series, let the right foot go back down, left leg straight up to the sky, hold behind thigh, calf, or all the way up to the foot. It's always okay to have a little bend in the knee. Go for a straight leg if it works. Again, working towards that maybe 6, 7 on your scale of 10 in terms of intensity. And release the left leg all the way down. Stretch the right leg out as well. That little 10-second pause there. Relax, soften. From the pause, now stretch your arms overhead like a capital I. Stretch from the fingertips all the way down to the toes, as tall as we can possibly be. Final little bit of movement here, bridge pose. Set the soles of the feet onto the mat. Reach your hands to try to brush close to the heels, just barely brushing. Push the feet down, shoulders, back of the head down. Keep a curve of the low back, the neck off of the mat. And then take this to bridge pose. Lift the hips up. Keep pressing feet, shoulders, head down as you lift through the hips. Hands can hug the sides of the yoga mat or interlace underneath you and roll the shoulders. We didn't do too much work in shoulders and chest today, so if that's feeling okay, go for it. If it's tight, know that it's for a reason. We didn't highlight it all that much. But that's why it's here now. Stay with bridge pose. Long breaths. One more breath in bridge pose if you're still up. And then release the hands and lower the hips all the way down. Give those knees one more hug into the chest to release. Find a counter twist. Let the legs go from side to side again. Any last extra unwinding movement, this is your time for it. Any last pose to catch? Do that here. And when you're ready, find Shavasana. Lie down on the back, extend the arms and legs, close the eyes. If Shavasana from a seat of meditation, cross-legged or back on the heels, sounds like a better fit for you, go there. Return to breath, body, a little bit of movement together. If you're lying back, come on up to your seat. And then just like the beginning, take a quick body scan. Noticing the physical self, noticing the emotional, spiritual self, how the intention is falling. I hope there's plenty of goodness from this practice to take into your day. I'll close in the sound of Om. As ever, you're welcome to sing along, to listen, or to tune it out. Empty out the breath. Deep breath in. I bow. Gratitude to yourself, each other, this practice. Namaste.